Hello everyone, it's Manga Adventures, and today I'll be doing something a little different. I was originally inspired to do this project because of all the hate Super Saiyan 3 got. It's personally one of my favorite forms, so I thought to myself, if I just tweak the backstory behind it, everyone will see how great it is. But then one change led to another, and then another, and I ended up not using the form at all. But I do think I improved the story and characters from the Buu arc onward, so I don't regret anything. Disclaimer, I did slightly change the lore and characters to better fit my vision, but this does not mean I dislike what Akira did. I do understand he was burnt out by the Buu arc and didn't even want to do it, but even still, he laid a great foundation and gave amazing ideas. But I've been rambling long enough, let's get into the story, I hope you enjoy. Gohan still has nightmares about the fight with Cell. We see this vividly as he tosses and turns in a cold sweat. He sees himself walking towards him with a bloodthirsty look. Present Gohan, looking down, realizes that he is Cell, and right before he dies, he wakes up. For this reason, Gohan enjoys studying much more than fighting, and would have taken a backseat if not for Vegeta, who always asks him to spar since he's trying to reach Super Saiyan 2. I know what you're thinking, Vegeta not reaching Super Saiyan 2? Shut up. Even after 7 years? Let me explain. I see a lot of people complain about Super Saiyan 3 came out of nowhere and had no build, but no one says the same thing about Goku and Vegeta reaching Super Saiyan 2. To achieve this form, you must be outraged. Everyone knows that, but during this period, Vegeta has no reason to get angry. Let me jump into your mind again. Well, wouldn't the fact that he can't reach the form of his rival's son push him over the edge? Yes, you usually would be right, but he's been living with Bulma and Trunks much too long, and it's beginning to show a family bond between them. Every time he feels frustrated or defeated, those two always bring him peace, whether the prideful Saiyan would admit this or not. This can be seen in my story when he stopped sparring with Gohan to take Trunks to the park as he promised. As for Goku, come on, we all know he's too carefree to get angry enough to achieve this form, especially in the afterlife, so he also is just still a Super Saiyan. Though he is caught daydreaming about his family from time to time. Back to the story, the training between Gohan and Vegeta continues for 7 years. Still, the truth is, Gohan has been holding back by not going Super Saiyan 2 because he's afraid of what might happen, lying to Vegeta saying he doesn't know how to reach the form again. Usually, after their training, Goten would beg to spar with Gohan because just like Goku, he sees fighting as fun, but unlike Goku, he gets frustrated when he loses and doesn't want to play anymore. That's his human side coming out. Since he's like this, I don't think he has an official gi just yet. So instead, let's just give him some casual clothes. This leads into Trunks. Goten would play fight with his friend mostly because this Trunks doesn't train unlike his future counterpart, because he's too busy studying to become the next heir to Castle Corp, so Goten always wins their fights. Trunks puts up with this because if Goten comes over, that also means his tutor Gohan is there as well. Gohan understands the pressure of always studying, so he's very gentle with the boy, scolding Goten for playing too rough, or giving him treats, or just helping him understand the harder things in his studies. Because of this, Trunks looks up and admires Gohan as a big brother. Now let's continue on to the first half of the Great Saiyaman arc. Originally, I wasn't going to change anything, but the video from Totally Not Mark stated he didn't like this arc at all. So I thought I would tweak this part as well. So let's establish our last new character, Videl. In this continuity, I'll have her more of a punk than a part-time hero. She, like Gohan, gets angry very quickly, but she takes her anger out on others. Though she still is a kind girl at her core, so the only people she fights are thugs. This aligns with Gohan, who still takes the secret identity of Great Saiyaman. He's beating all the thugs up before she can get the chance. So she has all this built up rage with nothing to take it out on. Everyone in school avoids her except Gohan, so she of course lashes out, but Gohan can take it. This puts a smile on the girl's face, so the two become sparring partners. During their sparring matches, Videl tends to say what is making her mad due to always fighting different thugs and never thinking she's gonna see them again. Gohan picks up on this and helps her through her anger and situations, whether it be her father doing something stupid, failing school, or the high expectations of being Hercule's daughter. He's there to listen and give advice. After a while, she soon finds more relief in talking to Gohan than fighting with him, opening up on more serious topics like how she thinks she's the reason her mother died because she couldn't control her anger. Gohan says he understands and that he lost his father around the same age, but you can't beat yourself up over it because I'm sure she would want you to be happy. This makes the young girl very happy and she hugs the boy. Gohan is also enjoying the time he's spending with Videl because he sees a lot of himself in her. And this is closure for him as well, saying the things he wishes people would have told him in the past. Now that Videl is finished, let's go to the latter half of the Great Saiyaman arc. Goku contacts the Z Fighters from Otherworld and tells them he's coming home for the day to participate in the tournament. This gets everyone excited, especially Gohan, who wants to prove to his father that the world is in good hands. Trunks sees this excitement from his father and Gohan, which makes him happy as well and want to join the tournament. He begs his mom to stop studying for a while until the tournament is over and then asks Vegeta to train with him. When Vegeta says no, Trunks begins crying because he wants to make Gohan and Vegeta happy. Vegeta walks off, not caring about the sentiment, but Trunks then grips his fist and yells, "But much more than that, I'm tired of losing to Goten." Vegeta turns around with a smile on his face, happy with the budding rivalry, and agrees to train him as long as he doesn't complain. On Goten's side, he also wants to prepare, but is still the same as ever, giving up when things get too harsh, so he only gets so far. Before they know it, the tournament is upon them. Everyone reunites, but this time, Goku takes the time to play with Goten, really getting to know his second son alongside Gohan. This sequence is similar to what he did for Pan at the end of Z. Goku asks Gohan if he's a scholar yet, he asks Goten what he wants to be when he grows up, etc. The story happens about the same. Trunks and Goten meet in the junior tournament finals. The two boys get their own gis for the tournament. Trunks is in the same gi he was wearing in Z, but Goten has the gi he was wearing from Super. Even with all his training, Trunks is still losing. Goten is a natural genius like his father when it comes to fighting, but when Trunks is pushed to the edge of the arena, something inside the boy snaps and he goes Super Saiyan, long enough for a solid punch that sends Goten flying. This is a big occasion for Trunks, who's always lost before. You see he wanted this so bad he unintentionally tapped into Super Saiyan. Goten is throwing a tantrum, screaming that he cheated, but Goku tells him he lost because he's been slacking on his training, while Vegeta tells Trunks he's proud of him. We move on to the adult tournament. The group is met by Kibito, a Kai in training who's by himself, but does mention he's on a mission from the Supreme Kai. He tells him the story of Majin Buu and the plan. Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 after seeing Videl injured, not knowing she was still conscious. He then gets his energy absorbed, giving just enough to revive Majin Buu, but that wasn't easy as Spopovich, the one who hurt Videl, is beaten to a pulp, shocking the audience. When Vegeta sees how much power the team displayed, he feels like a fool. He thinks Gohan has been holding back for 7 years, never going all out. I mean, he's not wrong, but still. The Z Fighters give chase to Babidi, but Gohan wants to give Videl a senzu bean real quick. But she refuses, scared of the kind and gentle young man she thought he was. He recognizes those eyes, and she doesn't even have to say a word, so he leaves the bean and heads off with the others. The group is then ambushed by Dabura, who turns them all into stone except Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Gohan chooses to handle the situation and orders Goten and Trunks to look after the statues because he sees how scared the two boys are. Goku and Vegeta continue the chase with him, but something is wrong. Vegeta's mind begins to blur. Babidi had seen the doubt in his mind and used that against him. He tells Vegeta the reason he hasn't reached Super Saiyan 2 is because he's gone soft due to his family. This clouds his mind until eventually the last thing he remembers is telling his son he's proud of him. Now, under the control of Babidi, he rushes back to fight Gohan, who's easily handling Dabura. Goku tries stopping Vegeta, but this leads into a fight, stating that he may have achieved and mastered Super Saiyan first, which gave him an upper leg, but now with the power of Babidi, he has no chance of winning against the Saiyan Elite. It's now time to see who's the better fighter, as the two go at it, but before a winner is decided, Gohan jumps in after defeating Dabura to help his father, and since Dabura is defeated, everyone returns to normal and joins the others. While all this is happening, Buu has successfully been revived and kills Kibito, who is right on his tail. Buu then rushes over to assist Vegeta. Gohan, instinctively knowing that this is Majin Buu, goes full rage Super Saiyan 2. This thing It's the reason the girl he loves looked at him like a monster, something he never wanted to happen. But even at full power, Majin Buu quickly kills Gohan, who, for some reason during a crucial moment, couldn't move. This enrages Goten, who cries over his brother's body and turns Super Saiyan, similar to the future Trunks arc. He is a child after all, and this is the death of his brother. He charges Buu, but it's obvious he's no match. Goku is still in shock at Gohan's death, thinking how he'll never become a scholar now. We saw during the tournament, Goku was genuinely trying to make up for lost time. He does love his children, and it took 7 years in the afterlife away from them to realize what it takes to become a good father. Afraid he might lose Goten as well, he achieves Super Saiyan 2 to fight Buu, but just like Gohan, he has no luck. Happening at the same time, Vegeta is ordered to kill the other Z fighters, but Trunks refuses to let this happen, so he turns Super Saiyan and confronts his father. This slowly knocks some sense into the Saiyan Prince, seeing his son, who he had always seen as weak, get back up time and again. Goku is flung out the sky by Buu, and Buu's next target is Trunks. Time slows down, and he remembers all the memories of his family he had Babidi push out. When he sees that he became more of a father/human in these past 7 years, to save his son, he turns into Super Saiyan 2, breaking free from Babidi's spell. With the combined effort of both Goku and Vegeta, they are strong enough to hold Buu back, allowing everyone to escape. Buu is happy with the fight, and Goku tells him if he could be patient, they will get much stronger. Buu agrees and kills Babidi, who refused. So far, nobody has died but Gohan and Kibito, so the Z Fighters search for the Dragon Balls to revive them, but the last one isn't on Earth. We cut away to see the Supreme Kai tossing it up in the air with a dead Gohan in front of him. The reason he didn't appear on Earth is he didn't believe in the Z Fighters stopping Buu and didn't want to die, so they wouldn't lose Beerus. But he does see the potential in Gohan, which is why he froze the boy during the battle, which allowed Buu to kill him. He wants to train Gohan to control his ki better so he can reach the peak of the Super Saiyan form. Gohan of course agrees because he wants the power to save his family. His training is trying to damage the hardest metal, Ketchin, which he is unable to do with the raw power of Super Saiyan 2. Gohan of course gets angry that he's unable to damage it, thinking the worst of his family back home. When Supreme Kai refuses to tell him what's happening on Earth, he snaps. This causes Supreme Kai to chuckle, saying even without me interfering, you would have lost because Saiyans operate on rage. You must truly master your ki and emotions to beat Majin Buu. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Goku's time hasn't run out because he never reached Super Saiyan 3, so he and Vegeta train the boys in the hyperbolic time chamber. We then change perspective again to Fat Buu turning into Super Buu per usual and heading to the time chamber where he absorbs Goten. When Gohan doesn't sense his brother's energy anymore, that's it. He demands he is taken back to Earth for the day like his father. Supreme Kai clicks his tongue, saying Gohan is hopeless and that he'll find another way to beat Buu before warping him to the chamber. With all three Super Saiyan 2s present, they're able to push Buu back a bit, but not before he tries absorbing Trunks. Vegeta steps in to be incorporated instead, telling Gohan to protect his boy. With Vegeta gone and Buu stronger than ever, Goku and Gohan stand no chance. The monster wants to see just how strong he can get and absorbs Goku as well. The reason for this is he wants to test this new power on who he thinks is the strongest of the two, Gohan, who is flashing back to the day his father died against Cell. Gohan also sees Trunks shaking out the corner of his eye and is enraged more than he's ever been. Then suddenly, he realizes his teen self and Majin Buu are no different. He takes a deep breath and says, I'm the reason my father is dead. I'm the monster Videl thinks I am, but I want to change, and that can't happen with you on this world. Gohan's hair turns red, his body now sleek instead of bulky, and his aura is gently floating instead of shooting up. Buu senses the spike in power, but he's unable to stop Gohan, who destroys him with a concentrated ki blast from the form he calls Super Saiyan 3, not knowing that this is actually Super Saiyan God. With the threat gone, Supreme Kai congratulates him on reaching the form they were training for, saying he was his worst student yet. He hands Gohan the Dragon Ball, and with this, wishes everyone back to life who was absorbed or killed by Buu. This includes the already dead Goku, since he was technically absorbed. Everyone is happy, especially Vegeta and Goku, who want to start fresh with their families. At the end of our story, Gohan goes to check on Videl, who took the beam. When he asks why she did it, she says she knows he's a good person and she apologizes for ever being afraid. Gohan smiles, saying he was afraid of himself, but he'll try to control his rage from now on, though it may take a while. Videl grabs his hand and says we'll do it together. Beerus has awakened 4 years after the defeat of Majin Buu. He's bored and is looking for a fight, so he searches for the nearest semi-high power level, not a dream of the Super Saiyan God. After destroying a few planets in disappointment of the greatest warriors, he asks the Supreme Kai who he's taught how to use God Ki, to which he responds, his latest student is a half Saiyan named Gohan. This excites the God of Destruction as he's heard of the warrior-like race and he heads off with Whis, who locates them on Earth. This builds up the threat of Beerus because each warrior he has fought was a student of the Supreme Kai. Gohan wasn't the first because Buu wasn't the only universal threat he had to deal with from a distance. What seemed like a throwaway line in the last video is now a crucial plot point for future arcs. This also clears up why only Earthlings are fighting in the tournaments, because Beerus has killed all the other strong fighters. Now let's take a peek and see what everyone is doing on Earth. Goten, now 11 years old, is training with his father, who doesn't let him give up when things get hard. The reason why Goku is so tough on Goten is because he sees the boy loves fighting but hates losing. He has the potential to pick up and even create techniques better than Gohan or Goku, but something is clearly bothering the young man. Trunks, now 12 years old, isn't training right now. He's talking to his father, learning more about his Saiyan history and where he comes from. The boy is filled with a sense of pride at his heritage, and Vegeta is happy to tell it. Goten and Trunks still dress more casually, but the visual difference is they are both around the height of 14-year-old future Trunks instead of toddlers, which I always found weird, but maybe peace stunts your growth, I don't know. Gohan is meditating with Videl when he gets a call from Bulma screaming that all you Saiyans have no sense of time. Gohan realizes that today was Bulma's birthday. They get ready and head there, but are met by Beerus. Like the original, Vegeta knows of Beerus and knows not to fight him, so they play nice, giving him delicious foods, entertaining him, but one thing still leads to another and Bulma gets slapped. This causes not only Vegeta to snap, but Trunks as well, who goes Super Saiyan 2 for the first time alongside his father. The two lose, and Gohan is ready to go next, but Goku tells him to wait and watch for a weakness, since he's their best chance of winning. Goku loses as well, and Gohan feels ready, but Goten stops him, saying he can't win. He's not like Buu, his ki is different. Goten right now, due to being a genius, is the only one who can sense the seemingly invisible God Ki coming from Beerus. Gohan puts a hand on his shoulder and tells him there's some things you have to protect, even if there's a high chance you could lose. Gohan then looks over to Videl, who's holding her stomach. He then turns Super Saiyan God, which is called Super Saiyan 3 at the time, and puts up a good fight against Beerus, but he's still losing. Goku, Vegeta, and even Kid Trunks gets back up to fight, powering all up to Super Saiyan 2, while Goten just sits back in fear. Thanks to their combined effort, Beerus sees the worth in the planet and spares it for now. Gohan asks how Beerus got so strong, and he just says he didn't reach this strength alone. Whis offers the four to train under them to master God Ki, and Gohan agrees in case of a threat similar to Beerus coming along, but only after his daughter is born, which he just revealed in front of everyone, shocking the crowd, causing them to celebrate not only for Bulma's birthday, but for the pregnancy of Videl. We start our story off with the adorable Pan being born, which means the group can finally leave to train under Whis. While Videl was pregnant, the Saiyans have been gathering food to offer Lord Beerus for the trip. Trunks begs Goten to come, but he refuses, saying he wasn't offered. Vegeta tells his son to come along. Some people aren't fighters. Goku pats Goten on the head. He sees the potential in his son, but he doesn't want a repeat of Gohan, who never wanted to fight in the first place, so he supports his decision to stay. Gohan says he'll return soon, but until then, Goten is the protector of Earth. Goten panics, saying he could never, but Gohan smiles, saying he has faith in him. While all this is happening, the Dragon Balls have been gathered and Frieza has been revived. He trains for the first time in his life like the original, knowing he can't be a Super Saiyan, seeing as he lost twice. Back on Earth, Goten is playing with Pan, Feeling he can't be the protector of Earth, Gohan thinks he is. He's not like Goku or Gohan. He's a coward. His mom sees this and talks with him. She tells him the reason she mimicked Goku's hairstyle is because she missed her husband so much. She wanted him to be like Goku because remember, half-breed Saiyans don't have the same hair their whole lives. It grows and needs to be cut, etc. Look at Gohan for example. Chi-Chi apologizes to Goten and starts to tear up, saying she didn't know how to be a proper mother, only what she was taught from books. But books can only get you so far in parenting. She learned a lot from raising Gohan, which is why she doesn't force Goten to study, but she admits she still has a lot to learn at the same time, saying every child is different. No, you aren't like Gohan. You love fighting and are very playful by nature, but you also aren't like Goku either. Yes, you're similar in many ways, but I can tell from seeing you, from watching you grow up, you're much more emotional than Goku ever was. And because of these strong emotions, you have the ability to truly be empathetic and relate to others through experiences that you've dealt with yourself. Goten feels terrible. He didn't want to make his mother sad. That's when he senses Frieza's high power level. And before Goten leaves, Chi-Chi gives him Goku's old gi. The same one he fought Demon King Piccolo in, saying she believes he could become the new protector of Earth. Goten reluctantly takes it. While the other Z fighters battle the army, Goten fights Frieza himself. The tyrant is angry he looks so much like his father. Goten goes Super Saiyan, but he doesn't compare to final form Frieza, who has the power of a Super Saiyan 2. Frieza is enjoying torturing the boy, imagining it's Goku. So he turns gold just to put salt in the wound, which, let's say, is around the strength of a Super Saiyan god. Goten knows he has no chance and fears death, remembering the time he got absorbed by Buu. During that time, he couldn't move, he couldn't speak, he couldn't hear or see, but for some reason, he was still conscious, until a flash of light and he was magically back alive. This is the reason he's been so scared to fight since Battle of Gods. He was scarred by the experience. As he's frozen in place, he remembers his newly born niece and the words of his mom, dad, and brother. They all have faith in him, so he must have confidence in himself even if it's fake. There are some things you have to protect, even if you know you're gonna lose. He screams this at the top of his lungs and rips off his gi, turning Super Saiyan 2, similar to Goku going Super Saiyan 1 for the first time. Don't be mistaken, just because he transformed doesn't mean he's as strong as Golden Frieza, but the form isn't complete, so it goes in and out, making this a battle of not giving up until it's over. Goten is able to survive because he's reading Frieza's moves, learning the patterns. It starts off slow, but eventually he's untouchable. Brute strength isn't the only way to win in a fight. Yes, Gohan's power level jumps by leaps and bounds, but the same could be said about Goten's martial arts skills. The golden form finally fades for good, and a frustrated Frieza tries blowing up the earth with a death ball, refusing to die again, especially by a child. But Goten counters with the full power Kamehameha, which has an image of both Gohan and Goku behind him. This attack pushes back the death ball, killing the tyrant. He looks up in the sky with a bloody smile and accepts his role as protector of Earth as the images of Goku and Gohan fades. So let's start right before the Golden Frieza arc. 13-year-old Trunks has just gotten out of a business meeting. He's been studying since he was 7 and finally got a small section of Capsule Corp to lead when he was 12. His mom offered him something that'll be easier to manage, but Trunks insisted he take over a portion that was struggling and close to being shut down. It took him a whole year, but he managed to make it one of the most successful parts of Capsule Corp. Trunks wanted this challenge because this was his battlefield and way of showing Saiyan pride, which he's been learning from his father. Saiyan history fascinated the boy more than anything, and nobody knows if it was learning about his heritage or puberty, but Trunks grew much more aggressive as he got older, a big step up from the crybaby he was in part 1. Though no matter how aggressive he gets, he still greatly loves his family. Bulma liked the change in attitude, because she was never cut out for running Capsule Corp. She was just an excellent inventor, but she sees the businessman in her son, and she knows that aggressiveness is what is needed for this cutthroat industry. Vegeta is constantly testing the newly aggressive nature of his son by sparring, so his power level blew up through the years, which is why it isn't too surprising he went Super Saiyan 2 against Beerus. After that battle, Vegeta, now filled with pride for his son, gives him his own Saiyan armor, feeling he is worthy of it now. And with that, we're all caught up over what happened in the time skip from the Buu arc to now. So let's get into the current arc, where our 4 Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Trunks, are training with Whis on Beerus' planet. Gohan is trying to control his God Ki, because apparently, according to Beerus and Whis, this isn't the full potential of it, while the others are just trying to unlock it. The training is mostly Gohan versus everyone else, and only when all 3 Saiyans go Super Saiyan 2 are they an even match for Gohan, who's still in his base form, because after unlocking God Ki, that power became his base power. He could still get a boost if he went Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2, but that would be overkill, especially since they're just sparring. Once Trunks and the others are tired, Gohan will go Super Saiyan God to fight Whis one-on-one, but he's not able to land a single hit on the Angel. That's when Choppa comes with his usual contest of food, but Beerus wins easily thanks to Earth's delicacies, like hot Cheetos or something, I don't know. After losing, he lets it slip. He's looking for the Super Dragon Balls, which is scattered throughout both Universe 6 and 7. He's already collected 6 of these, but the 7th is located in Universe 7. So, in a winner-take-all fashion, Beerus and Champa start a tournament since they can't fight each other because that's against the rules of God's destructions. It's gonna be 4 versus 4, and the first universe to lose all their fighters loses the tournament. There is still the written portion to make sure a fighter isn't all brawn. This test is easy for Gohan and Trunks, who score the highest. Vegeta does about average, and Goku barely passes. The tournament goes as such. I'm skimming over the first round with Goku versus Batomo. Next we have Goku versus Frost, and the same things happen with Goku getting poisoned by the hidden needle. But round 3 will be Trunks versus Frost. Trunks has seen past the needle trick, and he's actually the one that asked Beerus/Champa to not disqualify Frost. He remembers the stories his father told him about the Frieza of their universe, and seeing Frost is no different. He's just hiding his evil behind a persona. He goes Super Saiyan and attacks with his new Saiyan aggression, not giving the fake hero a time to counter, before he finally defeats Frost, telling him this was his birthright. Next we have Trunks versus Kaba. Now I think we all know Kaba is much stronger than Trunks. He was able to go toe to toe with base level Vegeta in canon, who had absorbed the God Ki, and let's not forget he was either chosen by Champa or his entire race to be the strongest law-abiding Saiyan. So base versus base, Trunks is getting tore up. He has to go Super Saiyan to tip the fight in his favor, and we get a little pause in the battle by Kaba, who's amazed by the transformation. This is where we'll see the split in Saiyan history, and in my canon, Universe 6 still has their tails. That's one thing I want to mention before beginning. While Universe 7 took over planets fighting strong opponents, Universe 6 realized that they could get much stronger by actually training and learning techniques from other races. In return, those planets are protected by that Saiyan from attackers, and that's how they became a police force. Even with all this though, no one in Universe 6 has obtained Super Saiyan, which is understandable because it's just a legend, a myth. Nobody cared about that since they had a more obtainable strength in front of them. Now that history class is over, let's get back into the fight. So Kaba believes the best way to handle a transformation is with a transformation. So he creates an artificial moon and becomes a great ape. Now this is what I wanted to see when I heard about Saiyans from another universe, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, since Kaba was 10 times stronger in base form than base form Trunks, another 10 times boost will put him above Super Saiyan Trunks, overpowering the young man. So Trunks has to tap into Super Saiyan 2, which puts the two warriors on even ground. With a final beam struggle, the battle ends in a draw. The two shake hands, happy at the outcome of the battle, and Kaba says if they became partners and fused, they'd be unstoppable. But Trunks looks at him with confusion, not knowing what he's talking about. Kaba laughs, guessing there's more differences between their universes than they both initially thought, and decides to keep that, what he just said, a secret until he's able to beat Trunks one-on-one. The final round is Vegeta versus Hit. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 2, but is no match against Hit's time skip ability. Vegeta smiles and then looks over at Beerus. He knows he has to fight god-level threats from now on that could harm his family. Vegeta still hasn't forgiven Beerus for what he did to Bulma, but right now, he's not strong enough to do anything about it. His anger is overflowing by just being near Beerus, by just being near all these cosmic threats that think they can treat life however they want to. But he has to set an example of true strength to Trunks and must stay calm. Once the prince takes a deep breath, he turns Super Saiyan 3, now finally renamed to Super Saiyan God, and easily overpowers Hit's time skip, winning Universe 7 the tournament. Goku's mad he didn't get to fight more, Gohan doesn't mind he didn't fight at all, and Trunks wants to get as strong as his father in every sense of the word. Per canon, Zeno appears, tells everybody to cut out all this universal fighting stuff because a bigger tournament is coming up soon. The group then goes back and continues their training with Whis, Gohan now having Vegeta as a sparring partner just like old times. The two would also team up to face Whis, but you know how that goes. Neither of them are still able to hit the Angel. The future is bleak for Trunks, who is being attacked by a mysterious figure. Even going Super Saiyan isn't enough to stop the foe who smiles at the challenge, but it doesn't take long for him to get bored of this winning battle. The silhouette kills future Bulma in an attempt to provoke Trunks, but his partner Mai convinces him to focus on going back in time like originally planned. Pissed that this may be the limit to Trunks' strength, he aims a killing shot at the young man, but he's pushed out the way and into the time machine at the last second by Mai. As he flies away, he sees the face of his tormentor, illuminated by the flames. Gohan Black. I can hear you now. You only made Gohan black because Gohan is the main character for this what if. But no, you'd be wrong. The reason I made it Gohan black is because future Gohan was the mentor of Trunks. Trunks feels responsible for his master's death and in turn believes he's obligated to protect the future in his place. Let's not forget, Gohan's modern counterpart, the one we're following right now, is the one who saved the current world and became the hero Trunks always knew he was. Now imagine that this same person is the one destroying the future that was finally at peace. Trunks will be emotionally torn. He would hesitate in battle, try to plead with Gohan Black. In my eyes, it just brings the future timeline full circle. Anyways, I'm done explaining. Let's get back to the story and switch over to present Gohan, who is sparring with Zamasu in Universe 10. It surprises everyone they are evenly matched, but Gohan goes Super Saiyan and wins the day, thanking him for the opportunity, but Zamasu was angry because he was by far the strongest Kai in any universe, saying mortals should stay in their place. Battling Kais was the end of Whis' training in the hopes of figuring out how God Ki works. But they weren't able to master it, and Vegeta was the only one to unlock it as seen in Part 4. Gohan isn't happy with the results though, and asks why he isn't able to master the form. Whis responds, "You aren't enough," before taking a big scoop of ice cream. Everybody goes back to their everyday lives. Goku does some training with Goten, who's picking up everything Goku learned in his time away almost instantly, and Goku is ecstatic to fight this new, confident Goten. Goku doesn't have a favorite child, but Goten is by far his preferred sparring partner. He always keeps Goku on his toes, changing up his battle style at the drop of a hat. Vegeta reunites with Bulma and is very concerned for her health. He doesn't want her moving around too much or eating the wrong foods. Trunks is taking over a portion of Capsule Corp, which is struggling, so he can take some stress off his mom. He stays late to handle some paperwork along with the Pilaf gang that's around Trunks' age due to a wish from the Dragon Balls. They were in charge of this section since they are so good at making robots, weapons, etc. And it's through many late nights he begins to bond with Mai. He's initially attracted by her intelligence, but her aggressive attitude is what seals the deal. Her passion and where her inventions go is the reason this section is doing so poorly. But Trunks makes it his mission to support whatever decision she makes because he feels if they work together, they could bring Capsule Corp to a new level. And somehow, so far, this works. Last is Gohan, who has a lot of catching up to do with his work as a scholar, but his first stop is checking up on Pan, who's already speaking, saying Dada, which brings Gohan with more joy than he's ever had before. His family life to him is perfect, and this fills him with determination to try and figure out how to fully unlock God Ki. In the middle of this brief piece, things go per usual with the arrival of future Trunks, except he attacks Gohan when he wakes up. Future Trunks then explains to an understandably confused Goten and present Trunks, and everyone assumes when he mentions a new threat, it's Buu at first. But future Trunks assures he defeated Deborah before he could revive and saying he's facing off against the evil version of Gohan. Vegeta asks if he can go Super Saiyan 2, which he says he achieved the form fighting Deborah, but didn't go to that level because Black gets stronger after each battle, and if he pushes him too far, he can unlock Super Saiyan or greater and become unstoppable. So he must gain a power above that, which can quickly end the fight. Bulma tells future Trunks he needs to relax while she works on the time machine and offers him a place to sleep, and they have dinner with all the Z families. He watches this happy moment, jealous his world isn't like this, even though he thinks present Gohan and Trunks are a bit of nerds in his eyes, talking about business and etc. But the thing that shocks him the most is that his mom is pregnant with his little sister, something he never would have expected. Meanwhile, Black has followed Trunks to the present with the time ring, but as he looks in and sees everyone gathered and eating, he knows it would be suicide to confront them. So he smiles and thinks he would make a little game of this. Eventually, everyone goes home and Trunks begins his training with Vegeta. Black uses this chance to attack present Trunks, who went out with Mai for ice cream. Trunks isn't threatened and immediately goes Super Saiyan, thinking he can win this on his own, but when Black has the upper hand, a prideful Trunks who refuses to lose goes Super Saiyan 2, even though he was instructed not to. Gohan Black is surprised, thinking Super Saiyan was the peak of the Saiyan transformation, but it's this battle that pushes Black to go Super Saiyan for the first time. His body has finally accepted him. He then retreats using the time ring, and after present Trunks tells everyone what happened, future Trunks gets upset, grabbing him by the collar, saying he could have gotten Mai killed. Before present Trunks can say anything, Mai breaks up the argument, saying she's fine and they need to handle the situation at hand. They now know Black can go back and forth in time freely, so they're on their toes, saying they should always stay in groups since the time machine is still being worked on by Bulma. They can't follow him. Present Trunks tells him he looks like Gohan, but his ki was different and he was wearing a Kai's uniform. Gohan decides to investigate because if a Kai was involved, that can mean the enemy has God Ki. So he, along with Beerus and Whis, leave Earth. This won't be easy because they fought each universe's Kai as a part of their training, so any one of them could be it. Black's next target is the Sun family. Goku smiles, always wanting to fight Gohan all out, so he tells Goten, who he was paired with, to stay back. They both go Super Saiyan, and it doesn't take long for Goku to realize he needs to kick it up to Super Saiyan 2 to even the playing field. Black then begins talking in a mocking tone. He realized, thanks to Gohan's memory, that Super Saiyan is unlocked by rage, so it would be right to assume that Super Saiyan 2 is the same. He then brings up how bad of a father he was to young Gohan because this version of Black has all the memories of Gohan up to the android arc. He's angry for prioritizing training over his family, like how he wanted to stay on Yardrat instead of coming home. He sees this as proof that mortals only care about themselves and says this isn't only his anger, it's both of theirs, and Gohan Black turns Super Saiyan 2. This causes Goku to hesitate and Black gets some good hits in until Goten intervenes in the battle. Goten tells Goku he's a great father and shouldn't doubt that before he goes Super Saiyan 2 himself. This shocks Gohan Black because he's never met Goten and isn't prepared for his fighting style. He's taken a lot of damage, but he smiles, saying Super Saiyan 2 is amazing and another Zenkai boost will make him unstoppable. He then slips back to the future with his time ring, and Goten checks on Goku, who tells him he may think he's a good dad, but does Gohan? This is getting serious. Gohan Black is getting crazy strong, just like Trunks had feared. This shows the crazy potential that modern Gohan had displayed throughout all of Dragon Ball and the return of the Zenkai boost that hasn't been used in a while, and just how deadly an ability it is. Goten communicates with Gohan, telling him that the ki definitely was similar to God Ki, since he has a better feel for these kind of things, but specifically it felt like a Kai, nothing mortal, and Goku adds that he hates mortals. This narrows down Gohan's search immediately to Zamasu. Now they're on their way there. Trunks has given up hope, figuring now that Gohan Black is Super Saiyan 2, he's unstoppable, but he continues to train all the same. Vegeta notices the lack of fire in his alternate son, but before he could say anything, President Trunks grabs him by the collar like he did to him earlier and asks where his Saiyan pride is. And all future Trunks does is lower his head, seeing no point in fighting for a future without his mother or Mai, wishing things could have been different. Goten offers a hand and properly introduces himself. He sees Trunks' internal struggle and takes a more gentle approach, telling him he's a protector of his Earth and he's been doing a great job so far from what he's heard. It's normal to have dark times, but remember, everyone is counting on you, not just your family. These people have faith in you, even if you don't have faith in yourself, so don't disappoint them. Your hard work will pay off, and you'll eventually find someone you'll personally want to protect, so be patient until then. Trunks tears up thinking of when he first met Mai, and the short-lived peace before Black and after the battle with the androids. Trunks wishes he had a friend like Goten in his time, to which Goten responds, they are friends. He wouldn't be here without him. Real quick, let's switch over to Gohan and Beerus arriving in front of Zamasu, who admits his plans per canon and gets destroyed on the spot. Now back to where we were. Gohan Black cockily shows up in front of everyone, thinking he's unstoppable. Everyone except for Vegeta powers up to Super Saiyan 2 and charges Black all at once. But the evil Gohan turns Super Saiyan 2 himself, and even though it's 3 versus 1, he is easily winning. Vegeta tells them to get back, he'll handle this. Black wonders if he'll transform before getting a swift punch to the gut, and Vegeta takes his finger with the time ring on it and breaks it, despite Black struggling to get free. Vegeta tells him he has the key of a god, and no form of Zenkai boost will ever let you catch up to it. The Saiyan Prince beats on an increasingly angry Gohan Black, who screams, "You don't think I know how to unlock God Ki?" Which Vegeta responds with, he's not gonna let you get the chance, as he charges up an energy blast, but Black is saved at the last minute by future Zamasu, who has his own time rings, because remember, they had a whole box of them in canon. But have no fear, because the time machine is now ready, but there's a problem. Only 3 people can fit inside. Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta are the obvious choices, but Goku steps up with a serious look, one he's never made before, and pleads with Vegeta to go in his place. Vegeta turns his head and tells Goku not to screw this up. When they arrive, they are met by Gohan Black and Zamasu. Gohan fights Black and is winning easily in his base form, similar to Vegeta, but when Black gets angry, per usual, this time he wipes the blood from his mouth with a smile and says he didn't know Saiyans weren't born with God Ki, but takes a deep breath and says once he unlocks his new form, he'll be unstoppable. So he stays calm, and that's when he goes Super Saiyan Rose. Gohan quickly turns Super Saiyan God, and the two are evenly matched. Meanwhile, Trunks and Goku are trying their best to hold off Zamasu, but he's too powerful. When Trunks lands a lucky hit with his sword, it turns out he is invincible, and any damage done to him will be completely healed. Zamasu knocks back Goku and Trunks and then goes over to Black and helps him with Gohan. Together, they're able to push him back, and with some quick healing from Zamasu, Black gets another Zenkai boost. With an obvious upper hand, they explain how they accomplished this plan. Zamasu looked for a world without a god of destruction, but the only one he could find is one who also doesn't have a Gohan. So he wished back the Gohan that died in the Future Trunk arc just to take over his body. And finally, wished for immortality as icing on the cake. The situation seems hopeless, but Goku steps up, a vein pulsating on his head, and tells Zamasu that he defiled his son's grave, the one that worked so hard for this world when he was gone. Goku then begins to calm down. But maybe if I was a better father, he wouldn't have had the anger needed to go Super Saiyan 2 and get as far as he did. I feel like I failed the Gohan in this time in more ways than one, but I'll fix everything and become the father he needs by stopping you right here, right now, and letting you rest easy, son. Goku then turns Super Saiyan God. Trunks tells Gohan that even with this extra power, Zamasu is immortal. But Gohan, who came up with an idea, tells Goku to handle Black on his own. Trunks says there's no way after the Zenkai boost, but Goku, looking for atonement and having faith in his son, does as instructed. Gohan is easily able to outpower Zamasu, but he can't kill him until he does a move used by Beerus, the Hakai. This disintegrates Zamasu down to the last atom. Gohan then rushes over to assist his father, and the two charge up for a father-son Kamehameha that clashes with Gohan Black's Kamehameha that I'll change to the color of black just for aesthetic purposes. With a combined push, Gohan and Goku defeat Gohan Black, who is crying as he is engulfed in the blast. Looking at the father and son working together side by side, this is Gohan finally regaining control for a split second, thinking his father did care about him. The battle is over and the group goes back to their time. Trunks is angry he couldn't protect the future himself, but calms himself down and promises to always protect this world no matter how hard it gets, as he finally turns Super Saiyan God himself. Gohan sees this and knows the future is in good hands. Gohan then turns to Goku and thanks him for everything he's done. Tournament of Power is announced the same reason as canon. The universes have a low morality rate and the losers will get destroyed. But because Buu didn't blow up a bunch of planets, Universe 7 isn't second to last, but is still in the erasable chopping block. The two lowest universes do an exposition match, which is Universe 11 versus Universe 9. Gohan, who went with Beerus, challenges Toppa, who dominated the battle alone, to get a gauge of how strong the competition is. The two fight and the battle ends with a draw, both admitting they were holding back. Gohan didn't transform at all and stayed in his base form, and Toppa admits he also has a transformation as well up his sleeve. Since he likes the character of Gohan so much, he smirks, saying that even fully transformed, there is someone 10 times stronger than he is, who hasn't even mastered God Ki. Gohan, worried about what Toppa said, comes up with the brilliant idea of asking Shenron to wish for the full power of Super Saiyan God, but that is beyond the dragon's power. He then explains that you alone will never be able to reach the form before flying off. Gohan returns to Earth and sees the birth of Bola before gathering the members of his universal team, which he has a week to do so. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Goten, and himself are obvious choices. Piccolo volunteers, but he must get much stronger if he wants to stand a chance. The Namekian goes to his home planet thanks to Goku's instant transmission and learns the combat style of his people. When he told the others about what's going on, the strongest warriors from each village offers their bodies to be absorbed. This, on top of his potential being unlocked, puts his power level around that of base Gohan after absorbing the God Ki. Next, Trunks decides to recruit the androids, offering a large sum of his money, not Bulma's, for their assistance. 18 of course agrees to this, and Krillin joins, saying he can't let his wife fight alone. He may not be as strong as her, but they did a little training in the Buu arc, so I would say without a doubt that he is the strongest human on Earth. They then go to Park Ranger 17, and he is powerful enough to easily beat Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, who is trying to convince him to join. I bet you're wondering, how did he get this strong? He was able able to go toe to toe with Goku in canon? Well, straight from the manga, which has no English translation, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but trust me, it's real. The Cell Juniors somehow survived the battle with Gohan way back when. My headcanon is because Gohan didn't blast them to nothing, they regenerated stronger than before due to a Zenkai boost and Piccolo's genes. But like I said, this could be completely false. So in the time frame from the end of the Cell arc to now, 17 has been training with all 7 Cell Juniors, and during this time was strong enough to control them. Why is this such a big deal? Well, because it is stated that the Cell Juniors are not as durable as Cell, but are just as powerful, which would make 17 7 times stronger than Super Perfect Cell, maybe even more. This would make him twice as strong as a powered up Piccolo, and with this information, Trunks pleads for 17 to train with 18 for a week, even saying they can use the gravity chamber or the room and spirit of time for a day. 17 agrees as long as someone looks after the island, which surprisingly Marin agrees to do. Krillin joins in on the training but isn't able to reach 17's power like 18 is, though I would say he is able to get around Piccolo's. Since we're on the topic, both Goten and Trunks had to do solo training with their fathers in the room of Spirit of Time so they don't get outclassed by the others, making their Super Saiyan 2 forms just as strong as God Ki-based Goku or Vegeta. After training with their sons, both Goku and Vegeta take a turn in the room in Spirit of Time for old time's sake. Now it's the last day before the tournament, and we need one more member. They tried recruiting the other humans, but they couldn't catch up with Krillin, and Beerus didn't want too many of them anyway because they could be a liability. So who else is able to go toe to toe with the gods that Beerus would approve of? That's when Goten gets the idea to recruit Frieza. Everyone reluctantly agrees but sees no other choice. The conditions of his cooperation are the same as canon. So now Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta all head out, wanting to protect their families. Trunks wants to protect his new girlfriend Mai, and Goten wants to protect the entire Earth, thinking of the bigger picture. There are a lot of fights in the Tournament of Power, and that's honestly what I loved about it. This is a shonen action anime after all, so it was cool to see, but I'm only gonna cover the important ones. And let's say, except for these changes, everything pretty much happens the same. Let's start off small with Krillin and 18 fighting Universe 2, showing off their love for each other. Krillin quickly gets outpowered and 18 picks up the slack by facing Rabara, who sees how passionate the two are and hesitates during the battle. Universe 2 is erased. 18 then goes over to 17 to show off the superior technology of Universe 7 to Universe 3. With their combined efforts, a few shields, a few key blasts, Universe 3 is also eliminated. Unfortunately, the sneaky tactics of Universe 4 knocks off an unsuspecting 17 and 18 in the surprise attack. It's now up to Piccolo to defeat this team with his superior intelligence. He's able to figure out each trick and or gimmick of Universe 4 by himself to pull off the win. Because they aren't powerful, they're just cunning. Now it's Universe 6 versus Goten and Trunks. They easily defeat the cannon fodder, but catch the attention of Kale, Khalifa, and Kaba. Kaba wants his rematch against Trunks, and the two go at it. Kale wants to join in on the fun, facing the person who tied with Kaba, but Goten steps in to fight her. When I say these two are meant to fight each other, they are meant to fight each other. They both have the amazing ability to quickly learn in the heat of battle, but Goten isn't packing enough of a punch during this exchange and goes Super Saiyan to fight back. Kale is just amazed at this powerful transformation, but Khalifa is worried that this could end badly, so she joins in as well. Even though it's 2 versus 1, they are no match for Super Saiyan Goten, but their combinations are enough to hit the supposedly unhittable Saiyan, and even confuse the fast-paced Goten from time to time. That's when Trunks, who is Super Saiyan at the time, knocks back Kaba into Kale and Khalifa. Kaba is angry that he's still no match for this transformation after all his training, and says if they want to win, they need to do that technique. Kale hates doing it, but Khalifa is able to convince her otherwise, saying she wants a good battle between Goten and she knows Kale wants one too. Both Goten and Trunks let them do this technique. Goten because he's excited to see what Kale has next, and Trunks who just wants to show off his Saiyan pride, saying he can beat anybody no matter the technique. Kaba says you won't be able to stop them once they do this, and the two females start doing the fusion dance, with Goten watching vividly, studying each movement before they combine into one being, Kefla. Immediately, Goten and even Trunks knows this is trouble because their powers aren't just fused together, they're multiplied together. They both go Super Saiyan 2 to fight, and it's an easy ring out. No competition at all. Kefla, feeling invincible, starts gloating, but that's when Vegeta steps in. He tells that this form is impressive, but can never beat the Saiyan Elite. Hit, who fought and lost to Vegeta in My What If, knows he's trouble and tries time stopping him. But he goes Super Saiyan and breaks free, knocking him out the ring. Remember, he's much stronger from last time they fought because of absorbing God Ki, so a simple Super Saiyan form is enough to overpower him this time. Kaba panics and uses the artificial moon to transform both them and Kefla to great apes. This is enough to take aback Vegeta, but he says he's gonna show them, as thanks for pushing his son to the next level, a power beyond the Super Saiyan, the power of a god, and transforms into Super Saiyan God, knocking both the great apes out like ragdolls. Universe 6 is officially eliminated. Frieza fights the cowardly and, in my opinion, weakest Universe 9 and easily eliminates them, getting them out the way. Piccolo is still weakened from fighting Universe 4 and gets knocked out by Universe 10, but Frieza picks up the slack, eliminating that universe. Now all that remains is Universe 11. Goku has taken out the weaker members of the team along with Vegeta, while Gohan is fighting Jiren. Toppa, not wanting to lose his universe, uses his God transformation, and it takes the combined effort of both Goku and Vegeta in their God forms to stop him and ring him out. Now, all that remains is Jiren, who is outclassing Gohan in every way. While listening to Jiren's backstory and seeing that he's strong but still hasn't mastered God Ki, Gohan realizes what Shenron, Whis, and Beerus meant by he can't achieve this form alone. He pleads with his father and Vegeta to give him their energy while in God form. Jiren, of course, isn't about to let this happen, but Frieza stalls him long enough, getting knocked out in the process. Goku and Vegeta put their hands on Gohan's back, and he's engulfed in an enormous red aura that covers the arena, or at least what remains of it. He's struggling to control these three different energies, but eventually he does, and out the aura comes a blue, spiky-haired man. Super Saiyan Blue. The Master God Ki is finally born. The gods stand up as they see this new blue aura, accepting him as on their level. He's so powerful, he unintentionally knocks out Vegeta and Goku, who are too tired to move after the ritual. The final battle has arrived. 2 contestants left. It's 1v1. This new power is enough to defeat Jiren, who struggled with before in an epic clash. And this is what I wanted in the tournament, in my personal opinion. 1v1, winner takes all, the loser is eliminated, the winner survives. But I like what we got as well. And with the win, Gohan wishes that every other universe deleted in this tournament. With everyone at peace, Frieza is brought back because he helped, and everyone continues their day-to-day lives with the loved ones they fought so hard to protect. So let's go back to the call to come back to his home planet Vegeta at age 737. In this what if, Paragus is King Vegeta's most loyal soldier. So King Vegeta told him to stand by to wait and see what happens because he doesn't exactly trust Frieza. Of course, the planet is destroyed, and when that happens, Paragus swears revenge against the tyrant. He doesn't work under him like Prince Vegeta does. He goes from planet to planet trying to build up their forces to counter Frieza's rules / evasions, but he fails every time. Luckily, each time he fails, he gains a new member of his rebellion and a Zenkai boost. This happens all the way to age 764 when Frieza and King Cole are officially declared dead, both being killed by future Trunks on Earth. So to celebrate this news, Paragus has a child named Broly by one of his rebel companions. It doesn't really matter on who, because Dragon Ball isn't really romance focused. So after Broly is born, they waste no time in taking over the planets controlled by Frieza. We're talking about an empire that can possibly expand throughout the entire universe, so this is going to take some time. Broly spent the majority of his life in constant battle, soon outgrowing his father in power level because you know those hybrids, they're crazy OP at a young age. He grew up learning battle styles and techniques from multiple planets he saved. His battle power grew so high that by the age of 15, he was the reason the Frieza Force had to revive Frieza in the Resurrection F movie because no one could match him. Though when Frieza was actually revived, he wanted to focus on becoming stronger and taking over the Earth. So he paid Broly no mind, only to be killed by Goten in part 3 of My What If. A year has passed since then, and because Frieza sent most of his forces to attack Earth, the Frieza Force was even more crippled than it was before, making it easier to liberate planets. During this time, Broly made his first 2 friends, Sheila and Lemon, since he had more free time because the rebellions were getting easier and he wasn't needed as much. I would say the dynamic of these 3 would be the obvious teaching the hardened warrior how to relax, which I think works pretty well. Sheila has a carefree attitude and Lemon is the older man who's experienced life and knows you have to enjoy it while you're young. They will go on many adventures while stopping the Frieza Force until they catch an oncoming transition that Frieza has been revived. The reason this wasn't announced the first time is because Frieza himself ordered that his revival would have to wait until he conquered Earth, but the Tournament of Power humbled him and he realized he just has to get stronger and take back over the universe, saving Earth for last. Now with this information out, Paragus makes it his top priority to figure out where Frieza is at, and it doesn't take long to see he's heading to Earth. He only takes himself and his son Broly as they are the only ones strong enough, but Sheila and Lemon sneak aboard the ship as well. Switching over to the beautiful blue planet, we see Goten and Trunks training. Their stories unfold before us, similar to Goku and Vegeta. The 2 fighting against each other in the Junior World Martial Arts Tournament as kids, fighting against Buu, unlocking their Super Saiyan forms, then unlocking their Super Saiyan 2 forms, Goten facing off against Golden Frieza, and Trunks facing off against Kaba. The reason it's just them is because Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan are all achieving Super Saiyan Blue, which the boys can't do since they haven't even unlocked their Super Saiyan God forms yet. The carefree Goten doesn't really care if he can't achieve the form. I mean, sure, it would be much needed power to protect the Earth, but he'll find a way to defend it with the strength he has now like he always has. Though the prideful Trunks doesn't see it that way. He's thinking he's falling behind his father and Gohan, training so hard that Mai has to force him to stop and take a break. The 2 take a romantic vacation while Goten stays to babysit both Pan and Bulla. This causes the young boy to think about love, curious if he can get a girlfriend like Trunks. During this time, like in canon, Frieza sends his weakest forces to get the Dragon Balls so their power levels can't be detected by the Z-Warriors. It's only when Trunks returns and checks the security cameras of Capsule Corp does he notice that the Dragon Balls are gone. And he gets into an argument with Goten saying he can't even go on vacation. But Mai once again steps in saying there's no time for this, they have to find the Dragon Balls before Frieza can grant his wish. They take the Dragon Radar to track the thieves, and that's when they run across Broly and Paragus, who had stopped the troops before going back to Frieza. The 2 confront them saying what do they want with the Dragon Balls, and Paragus assures them they just wanted to stop the Frieza Forces members, not really caring about the orbs, or even knowing what they are for that matter. Goten and Trunks letting out an annoyed sigh, not wanting to believe that the tyrant would try this song and dance again. Goten asks Trunks if he should just use instant transmission to take care of the problem, a technique he learned while training with Goku, and Trunks agrees. But they are stopped by Paragus, who tells them they can't handle the tyrant alone, not knowing how powerful the boys really are because they're suppressing their power. Goten happily allows them to come along if it puts their minds at ease, while Trunks is getting irritated, just wanting to get this over with already. So Goten senses the energy of the nearby Frieza, who let's just say is orbiting the Earth right now, waiting for the Dragon Balls to come, and warps right on the ship. They make quick work of the grunts and meet Frieza face to face. Paragus swears revenge on what Frieza did to planet Vegeta and his people, but we all know Frieza doesn't care and only rewards Paragus for his rousing speech with a death beam to the chest. His last words were wishing he could show his son Broly a new planet Vegeta before dying. This, of course, causes Broly to go into a rage and turn Super Saiyan. He attacks Frieza, who isn't worried about the weak Saiyan compared to the others he's dealt with. But what Frieza wasn't expecting is that Broly is getting stronger as the battle goes on. This pushes Frieza to the point of needing to transform into his golden state, but the ship goes down crashing into the Arctic portion of the Earth before he could. Goten and Trunks were able to instant transmission off the ship safely, while Broly and Frieza crashed into it. Sheila and Lemon, who have been hiding at this point, come out to check on Broly, but then their friend starts attacking them in a blind rage. They are only saved by Trunks, who goes Super Saiyan to try and stop the threat. Sheila and Lemon plead with Goten that he isn't a threat, he's just confused right now, he's never done anything like this before. And Goten just smiles, saying they'll handle this, as Trunks is knocked into the glacier before he can turn Super Saiyan 2, underestimating his opponent. Goten does the spiritual hold like Goku did in the movie, trying to calm Broly down, but this doesn't work as it's reversed back on him. He gets beaten up pretty badly, but he doesn't stay down, feeling it's time to go Super Saiyan 2. But even with this power up, Broly quickly catches up. Trunks jumps into the battle in his Super Saiyan 2 form to assist, but Broly is still beating them with ease, getting stronger as the battle progresses. Luckily, Frieza breaks free from the rubble in his golden form, looking for revenge. This is the perfect distraction for Goten to escape, locking on to Piccolo's energy. Trunks grabs him by the collar, saying it's a disgrace to Saiyans to show their backs, but Goten says they can't fight him, and Trunks interrupts, refusing to ask for help from his father or the others. Goten then tells him he wasn't done talking. His full sentence was they can't fight him alone, but if they fuse together, there could be a chance of victory. The same technique used against them by the Universe 6 Saiyans in the Tournament of Power in my Part 6 What If. Remember, Goten is very good at copying and learning techniques, so he has it memorized. Trunks reluctantly agrees with the plan, seeing this is a better option than his tail tucked between his legs and running for help. Just in case, Goten playfully threatens to tell Mai he's being difficult, which really convinces the young man. Trunks then asks if they're gonna do this, they better go all out and fuse as Super Saiyan 2s, since the technique multiplies your current battle power together. The two mess up initially. Trunks is too embarrassed to take the dance seriously, his face beet red the whole time, as they first turn into skinny fusion and then a fat fusion, but the third and final attempt is a huge success. An energy so powerful that it can be felt by Gohan and the others training on Beerus' planet. Goku and Vegeta are confused, not being able to tell who the energy is coming from since it's a mixture of Goten and Trunks. All they do know is that this power is a match for Super Saiyan God Gohan during the Tournament of Power. The two teams then decide on a name for this fusion so it sounds cooler. This is much more appropriate than Gogeta since Goten and Trunks are teenagers. Grunks? No. Trunkton? No. Gotenks. Yes, that's perfect. A mixture of personalities between Goten and Trunks would be very interesting. Just like Gogeta, this is more of a curve stop than a battle. The Goten side wanted to see just how strong Broly can get, but when Broly goes legendary Super Saiyan and lands a hit on Gotenks, this causes the Trunks side to come out, wanting to hurry up and end this with a burning Kamehameha. Though luckily Broly is wished away along with Sheila and Lemon, who got a hold of the Dragon Balls. When they arrive back at the Rebellion base, Broly returns to normal, breaking down in tears. He's confronted by Sheila and Lemon, which strengthens their bond. He then swears to make a new planet Vegeta in his father's honor. Meanwhile, on Earth, Gotenks defuses and they agree to one day find Broly and train with him in hopes of surpassing their parents without God King, carving their own path, saying they saw, or more so felt, a power that could rival or even surpass Super Saiyan Blue, a Super Saiyan form with long flowing hair that can only be obtained during fusion, the true Super Saiyan 3. Well, that's it. I left things on a cliffhanger. Will I use Super Saiyan 3? Will I not? I just got to see how the moral arc ends before making that decision. For the most part, I tried mixing the old Broly movie with the new Broly movie while also adding something different. Hopefully it came out okay. Anyway, give me your thoughts on the video, especially everyone who came through other channels. I hope this lived up to your standards, and to everyone who's been here since the beginning, I really do appreciate you. You just don't understand. I hope this was a good finale for you guys.